Podcast, brought to you by Midstate Mile. That's the sound of another Ultra Crude podcast. I'm, of course, Jon, your host, and with me, as always, the fabulous, the amazing, the wonderful, spectacular, admirable, and adorable BMFJ.
Oh, you're so kind. Thanks, honey.
Yeah, well, you know, I do what I can. I like you a little bit.
Oh, I like you a little bit.
Yeah, and since we like each other so much, we're doing life together. We're race directors, ultra runners, crew people. Yeah, chime in anytime. Yeah, you just whenever you're ready.
Oh, I mean, I thought you were saying such wonderful things. I just let you keep going.
Yeah, the podcast works if both of us talk well.
Oh, wow.
Works well if both of us talk. We got to talk good sometimes. Sometimes we don't talk so good.
That's accurate.
Words are hard.
They can be quite difficult.
Especially words like oil.
Listen, we don't need to talk about how I talk.
No. The show's about talking, and we're talking about ultra running and life and all the things in between. Mm-hmm. Hey, we appreciate you guys following along. If you like the show, share the show if you want to. That'd be awesome.
Be pretty cool.
Yeah, rate it, review it. You know how y'all know how podcasts work. Do the podcast things if you like it. Anyway, another big week. Obviously, we are preparing for Midstate. Mm-hmm. The Midstate Mile.
Yes.
We're in year 6 of this joker. And next week, we're going to get all up in it. Next week is the preview episode for race 6. Year 6. The Midstate Mile. And since the race is coming up, we got to what? 10 days or so?
Something like that. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Not this weekend, next weekend. Not the next weekend, but, you know, the one after this coming weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you need a calendar?
No, I know when it is. It's just hard to explain. It's next weekend, but this weekend is the next weekend, but it's not that weekend. It's another one. It gets in the weeds. Listen, I went to Indiana this last weekend. Gosh, see? When you try to figure out which weekend's which.
Well, we're on Monday.
I know.
And you left for Indiana on Friday.
I left early Friday morning, and I had to go to Indiana, the annual Indiana pilgrimage, to retrieve a very, very important race day item.
The quilt.
The quilt. Handmade by my mother. She labors over it. She fusses. She does all the motherly things to make the quilt. And who's the quilt go to?
It goes to the winner.
It goes to the winner. So we've got that. It's a quick trip. Here's the deal. You gotta get in and out of that Indiana vacation quick. Because you can pack on some pounds in a short amount of time.
You sure can. I've been there so long my stomach started itching.
That was meal 2 for you.
Where it stretched my skin.
Yeah,
that
was breakfast in the morning. Listen, food is my mother's love language. And her biggest regret is not the length that I stay, just how many meals I will eat when I'm there. She wants to be able to feed me more meals. I think there was 3 new gallons of ice cream, 3 different kinds of cookies. She was baking cookies. She made a cake. It's a lot to pack in to a short visit.
Yeah.
So it was good. It was good to see him though. Drive was, doing driving things.
How far of a drive is that from here?
It's a 6.5 hour drive, 6.5, 7. Mm-hmm. But they're on Eastern time zone for some reason.
So we lose an hour?
You lose an hour. You get an hour coming home. But I made it back. I left early Friday morning. I think I rolled out of here about 5. And then I got back around 7, 8 o'clock Saturday night.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was nice. Nice to see the family.
Good. Very appreciative of your mother's hard work.
I am super appreciative of Mom's hard work. You know, it was kind of a flyer. We were sitting around year 1. What are we going to do for an award? And my mom's been making quilts forever. She's a quilter.
She goes to quilt retreats.
She goes to quilt retreats where all they do is quilt. Yeah. And buy fabric and eat things. Or it's centered around quilting and buying fabric and having lunch. Mm-hmm. That's the big idea. And yeah, she does that twice a year. She does quilt retreats. She's into it. She's deep into quilting.
She die hard.
Yeah, oh yeah. That's her thing. So, it was kind of a flyer. I wonder if Mom will make a quilt. That'd be a cool prize to have a handmade quilt. And I think she digs it. And I think she's glad to be a part of the race in that fashion. And she knocks it out of the park. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
She makes it with love. She thinks about the guy. She doesn't know who's going to win it, but she always thinks about who's going to. So I'm sure she has her favorites.
Oh, I'm sure. She's a very sweet one.
Yeah. All right. Well, what'd you get into? How's your week been? You're back in school this week.
Yeah.
Full force.
Yeah, school started back this week.
Back to school.
Back to school. Yeah, school started, and then really just got into a lot of trail work and trying to get ready for mid-state. That's kind of the focus right now on trying to manage all the tasks efficiently and with as least amount of stress as possible.
How's that going?
Actually, pretty good this year. I think this year has probably been the best. You know, the first year, we didn't really know what we were getting into. And then year 2, we knew what to do different. And I think that there was a lot. And especially as the race grows every year, not in the number of participants, because we are very limited to the amount of people that we can have there for this specific event. Yep. So it will never be more than 100 to 110 people starting. But as it grows with
the hoopla grows.
Yeah, and the live stream and the pavilion. And we try to add stuff that enhances people or enhances the experience for the runners and the crew and just the overall race. You know, we put everything we can back into the property and to adding things. So, you know, year 2, we felt like, oh, okay, like this was a success. We can't screw this up. And we still didn't know a whole lot. Year 3, a little bit better. But anyways, you know, we have a great group of friends that helps us.
Yep.
But we don't have an army of volunteers like some races have, which is okay.
Yeah.
The volunteers we have are great. And also because we are on private property, we don't have the luxury of having, you know, forestry departments that maintain roads or trails or do every single thing is done by us or our friends.
Yeah.
And so if you want something, you have to build it or buy it or fix it or do it. And I think that sometimes even we underestimate how much of a task that is.
Virtually every single year. Every single year.
How labor
it's always
intensive
a surprise.
That is. I mean, I know all of our friends are really excited that we don't have to put up those fucking tents this year. And I've been very grateful for the tents. And I say fucking tents with love and angst because every year.
A lot of angst. Yeah, usually the tent putting together standing tents, it's a multi-day process.
Yes.
One that we rarely agree on.
Yep. It's a fight. We about knife each other in the parking lot.
Yeah, a little bit.
I tell you to go find a John job.
Yep.
And go on.
Go on somewhere.
I handle this every year. I don't need your input.
I feel like I do it, though.
But you don't.
We both feel like we do it. And then I probably feel like I do it because I always think I can do it. And then you think I'm doing it wrong. And so then I stop doing it. And then I think, well, anyway, what do you mean I'm doing it wrong? Gosh, now we're getting in the weeds.
Well, there was the one year, I think we had like 8 volunteers that day. And I tell you, every year, I can put up these tents by myself. I'll do it in the afternoon when the sun isn't beating down on us and it goes down behind the hill, which is usually like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're like, you won't go back out there and do that? It's like, I can do this. An hour and a half, 2 hours. Anyways.
Is this what the show's about today? All the times you're mad at me when we're trying to put on a race?
No, but
we're supposed to talk about mid-state next week.
We had a great group of volunteers that I could have really spread out to do a bunch of weed eating and coursework. And then by the time they got done with the tents, because the person, i.e. me, who knows how to put them together, was off doing other stuff. By the time they got it done and figured out in the hot sun, they were done.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay.
I feel like you're just saying things.
No.
I don't think any of it's nice. I don't think you're saying anything nice about me or to me at this point.
Listen, you are wonderful.
I'm listening. Yeah, go ahead.
You are wonderful. It's just, this always tests us.
Yeah, we don't have to do it this year. We get tested.
We do.
And testy with one another.
Oh, yeah. It could be entertaining or awkward.
Yeah, I'm sure it's awkward for everybody around us.
Yeah, there's a reason we do different jobs. We work well
separately,
moving towards the same goal, not together trying to accomplish a goal.
Yeah, we did good this weekend.
Yeah,
I feel like, everything's good. I went out there today. We worked on Sunday. I went out there today. Did some more mowing. I'm mowing now.
John's a mowing man.
Yep.
I Oh, Daddy's back's been bothering him. He's got a compressed nerve thing.
Yeah, well, that's no big deal. Hey, listen, we're here to help out. All right. Well, is that we good?
Oh, I was just, I guess, got a little sidetracked. No, it's always exciting. It is. It's always exciting, and every year I underestimate how much there is to do. And this year, though, I have really managed the stress, I do believe, well so far. I have prioritized going to sleep, like when I went to bed at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, I don't know this. Like I wouldn't call that you've prioritized going to sleep. Like you've went to sleep twice.
There's early. A couple other times. There has. Anyways, walking through the woods and doing things that are not necessarily race focused, because I think a lot of my time and energy, not that it's a bad thing, gets wrapped up around the race. And by the time race day gets here or that week is coming up, I'm already so exhausted and so stressed. Last year I had that abscess tooth going on as we got ready for the race.
You sure did.
It was pretty miserable.
Complete liability to the team.
Yeah. So, this year feels good.
Yeah, hey, listen.
We're 2 weeks.
We're a long way to go. Yeah. There's still plenty of time for you to tell me to go on somewhere you don't want to do this with me. I'd rather do it by myself. We're going to be like this. Going somewhere.
I do say that every year.
Every single year, yeah. Really lets me know what's going on.
I love you though.
Sometimes it's just fussing. That's all it is. It's just fussing because it's a high stakes game in a lot of ways, and stress tends to rise. And if we don't manage stress well, it boils over. There's a lot of trust, I think, that has to go on between the two of us just to do this. Mm-hmm. An immense amount. I don't think we acknowledge that so much or really focus on it day to day, but it's in those, I think, moments where we're just not trusting each other to move the race forward and go forward, get this done because we're doing it the best way we know how to do it. We care very much about the race and going forward in it. And so, hey, this is what I'm doing right now to contribute to that end. And then it looks a little weird from the other person's perspective. And we go, don't like that. What are you doing over there?
Yep, that's exactly what you sound like.
No. Yeah, it probably is what I sound like, because if it was you, it would contain a lot more expletives.
Accurate. Very accurate.
Yeah, stress will get you. Yeah.
What are you doing to manage your stress?
I'm not.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll tell you, to be honest, like I've got to get back to running. I need to start training again. I need to start running. And I was planning on running this morning. I was dog tired yesterday. And then I was dog tired when I woke up. I had to go to work this morning. I was going to run before work. I knew I needed to go out there and do work this afternoon. And I went, no. That's not, you don't need to go run and add the stress onto your day. Like, you need a little bit of reprieve. And then run when you're already rested.
Yeah.
So I made the hard choice today.
Stress is stress is stress.
Stress is stress is. JB said something this week. I caught something he said. Shout out JB. You know who you are. It was one of his stories, and he was kind of like bumping up against or pushing back against this grind mentality. And it was like, he had his headlamp on. It was early in the morning, and so he had gone out for a run while it was still dark. And it gets light out like 6 o'clock here. So he's like, hey, sometimes it's not really a grind. It's just logistics. Like sometimes it's just fitting it in. And we've kind of been like inundated, and we get trapped behind this, like, oh, you got to hustle, you got to grind. And we get wrapped up in thinking that's the goal. And sometimes like you're working and not getting any results. Like your like habits aren't discipline. Like, work doesn't always equal results if you're not doing the right amount of work. And you can work your tail off, but if you don't ever rest from the work you've done, you're not getting anywhere.
We see that all the time, especially in running, where people plateau and you see them putting in high mileage, putting in all this work, getting in the gym and doing these things.
And they put 17 races on their calendar.
Yep.
How's that work? Like, yes, continue, please.
Yeah, I mean, and they wonder why they struggle with injury or burnout or all these other things. And yeah, you can work your fucking ass off, but if it's not where the work needs to be applied and you don't give yourself time to recover from that, you're going fucking nowhere. And all you're doing, I'm going to go on a tangent a little bit about this, because when you talk about that grind mentality, shut the fuck up. Y'all are not David Goggins. Like, you're just fucking not. And you know what? A lot of what he does is super fucking unhealthy as well. It's a great mentality to have in the back of your mind to serve as motivation if you need to be motivated. But motherfucker, you can't live your life like that. You can't live like that. It's not fucking healthy. And this, like, people are like, I'm at the gym, in the morning, and I'm up till, motherfucker, you ain't sleeping. Your body is not resting and you are not recovering. I don't care whatever else you do, your body cannot reap the rewards of the freaking work you're putting in it. Also, no one gives a fuck. Like, no one cares about your ego-driven bullshit posts. They just don't. 5 people might actually care about what the work you're putting in. They might, maybe, if you're lucky. Lots of people will be like, oh, good job, because you're telling everybody about it. Your results aren't speaking for yourself. Your results aren't being on that podium, having the best body of your life, having a full, enriched life. Let your results fucking speak. If you constantly have to tell me how hard you're working, what you're doing, fucker, I am not impressed. Show me. Sorry.
No, I think that's well said, Miss Jones.
Yeah, no, when he posted it, that really, like, it got a thing. I mean, we all have an internal dialogue. Sometimes it helps us kick it up, lock in, take it to that next level. Some people mistake that internal dialogue for external dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you look dumb. Like, no, that you keep that in so that you can go and, you can speak that around people that get it, and you can all, like, feed that animal that's inside of you. But if you got to tell me, buddy, you're just a pussycat. Like, no, you're no tiger. Sorry. Can't do it. All right, I'll let you talk.
No, I think that's just fantastic. I think a lot of it is ego-driven. I think a lot of it is searching for a place. I think a lot of it is not knowing how to manage the downtime and not knowing where your value and worth comes from at the end of the day. I think there's a good possibility that when you're lost in the noise and you are in the habit of creating your own noise, it's because you're kind of afraid of the quiet.
That is very astute.
You can be really afraid that people are going to forget about you. You can be really afraid that people don't have value in you. You can be really afraid of what goes on when you turn the volume down. And so I think dudes do this a lot, and they stay busy and they grind because not so much that they want the results, but they want the feeling that comes from the noise around them. Or, I don't want to say that they want the feeling of what they perceive other people will think, but I think they're afraid to sit within themselves, or they've sat within themselves and they dislike who they are so much from a value place that they have to stay out of that company. And they're not willing to heal their soul. And so many times you see this. Listen, this is not an anomaly in ultra running. People go out there and they break their bodies because that's the pain they can deal with. Mm-hmm. That's the pain. That's the feeling that they can digest and they can understand, because the pain in their soul has gotten so big and they don't know how to deal with it. They can't deal with that. So we have to push it off onto something else. And this is, so much. Like, I started running, I didn't like who I was. I still am not a big fan of, my days. But, I like much more of who I am now. When I ran Falcon's Fury last fall, I very much liked who I was. The miles, the number, the time had no value on me. And that's what you have to get away from. You have to be able to run and work towards the result that you're going to be satisfied with the effort, not the result in who you are. And when you stack them up, like, why are you stacking up? You're posturing like you're a professional, and whatever this is. David Goggins is a professional David Goggins. There's one guy in the world that's pro at being David Goggins. It's him. He created the space to be him. It didn't exist before. There wasn't anybody else. So he created that. And I think there's dudes trying to recreate it. There's one slot for that. It's taken. Like, you got to find another way to do it. And I am never impressed by the guy that never misses a workout, never misses a lift, never misses a trail race, never misses, and watches everything else settle to the wayside. Like, let's zoom out and let's look at what your life is as a whole and what other area you are missing. Because you can't run 90 miles a week and hold down a healthy lifestyle, a family, a job, and get all that done.
Yeah.
It's just not working. And you see this is a big caveat in marathon running, I think, because it's a smaller cycle. Marathon runners typically run 2 a year, 2 a year. And that build up, that high mileage is intense and everybody understands it. And then you have this big shutdown and everybody calms down the noise. But we've got this culture we've been inundated with of just on to the next one, on to the next one, on to the next one. I'm going to run 100 miles every week. That's great. There's one dude doing that. That slot's filled. I don't know what the rest of his life looks like. Maybe it's okay. He's got a wife and kids and a job. But I don't know what all that consists of. You can't stack up multiple hundreds in a cycle. And if you are, maybe that's great. Maybe that's just your hobby. You've plateaued on that result and that's what you want to do. And you're having a good time.
And there are some people that are exceptions to the rules, but you have to also understand you're likely not. Most people are not the exception, although they would like to believe that they are. And they apply the rules and the approach like they are the exception. And I think you just see so much of what I was talking about earlier, and that especially through social media.
Yeah, social media is not healthy for a lot of.
But I can't tell you how many of those reels and those things pop up like, I was up at 3 o'clock this morning, I'm doing this, and I was in the gym at 11 o'clock at night, get it in. Like, it's just constant.
Yeah, you can't do both of those things.
No.
That's not going to work. And I'm a good sleeper. I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm pretty good at sleeping. I've been doing it since I was a little boy. And I get good sleep every night. I mean, I go to sleep, I wake up 7.5 hours later. Boom. Doesn't matter. If I need to wake up an hour earlier, I go to sleep an hour earlier, and I'm just going to wake up. That's how I do it. I like how you were trying to tell me last week what a value asset that was.
It is.
What a strength my ability to sleep is. But it's also the same thing. Like, I know if like once a month or maybe a couple times a month that I'm going to get 4 hours of sleep or half the amount of sleep as I usually do, it's not going to be that big of like, I'm going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because I am going to recover from a restless night's sleep. Like, it's going to be all right. I'm going to make up for it. But you can't burn that candle at both ends forever.
No.
And you're going to be worn down. There was times I was working off shift and I could not sleep. I was working third shift. Did it for a couple of years. Could not sleep at all. I would get off work. I'd come home, eat dinner or breakfast or whatever it was, and then lay down. And by mid-afternoon, I was up having 3-4 hours sleep. Okay, well, now I need to go. Like, I still need sleep because I need to get up at 7 o'clock tonight and go to work, or 8 o'clock and go to work. And there are times I would be up until like 6, just tossing and turning. And it was awful. And I was not my best self. I was not contributing in any other facet of society other than all of my attention and energy is going on just trying to sleep so that I can be productive for these long shifts I'm working in the middle of the night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't do that under duress. You can't do that under stress.
No. I did want to come back to like where you said that people have a hard time when that noise is turned down. And I think we see that a lot in the sport.
That's why we keep the volume turned up.
Yeah, and it's so hard to see that though, because sometimes you see people struggling with that, or you have people that come to us and say, "Hey, like that really spoke to me," or, I've definitely been using running as a way to find self-worth or
Mm-hmm.
find things out, and that's a really tough place to be in. I think it takes a lot, though, to recognize that's where you are and to want to make a change.
100%. And that's why this is so hard, because you don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. I understand. I listen, I get it. Like, being in a place where this is the only thing and you're holding on to it because it keeps you outside of darkness. If this is your lifeline, if this is your raft that you're floating in the ocean on, like, heck yeah, I'd be afraid of drowning too. And I am. Like, crap. That's not what I want. But I'm not growing as a person. I'm not benefiting as an individual. I'm garbage to my relationships, to you, to the race, to our athletes, if I can't tread water.
Yeah.
Like, they got the magazines in the airport. Put your own oxygen mask on first before you help somebody else.
Yeah.
That's a long pause for Miss Jones. That's a long pause.
Yeah, I didn't know if you had anything to add to that. I mean,
that was a boop. Okay. That was a pop. Bam.
You do have to prioritize yourself. And if you find yourself drowning, stand up.
But gosh darn it, we get this wrong too, don't we? Don't we get the self-prioritization wrong too?
Sometimes, for sure. I know I definitely do.
This is so but this is where the lack of growth is. This is where the lack of accurate self-perception. This is where the lack of healing is. This is where the lack of self-worth is. That is darkness as well. Like, real availability, real growth, real healing.
Sorry.
Means that you're capable of both of these things. And if you can only do one of them, you've got work to do. And if you're running 90 miles a week and 6 races a month, you're prioritizing yourself.
Yes.
You've got your own oxygen mask on. It's no different.
You got your own mask on. You're not checking anyone else.
No.
You put yours on and said, figure it out.
And you're running out of air.
Yeah.
And you got to pick another one. And I don't have other hobbies. Like, there isn't anything else I do. There's some stuff I do. I like, I like plinking.
What?
I like plinking. I like doing a little shooting.
Oh, okay.
But this is my hobby. This is our lifestyle. This is what we do. You like foraging. You're a good forager. That's your self-care. That's what you do to get in the woods and walk through nature and like, hey, this is what I need to do to clear the space. I don't really essentially have one of those. I have one of those. I'm not to it right now because of all this other crap going on.
Yeah.
I'm grinding.
Yeah, that's actually been incredibly therapeutic for me, and I love it. I feel like I am tapping into forgotten knowledge and learning all of these things and all the different uses and history, and it lets me immerse myself in a space that I love, which is outdoors. That is why I like trail and ultra running. I'm not, we often say either you're running to or from something, and I'm running towards my best self. I'm not running from past trauma or those things. Like, trail and ultra running is one of those things that I love. I have immersed myself in. It is what I built my life around. But it's mainly because I like to be in the woods and do shit outside. It's not this grand journey to push myself to the brink and see what I can do. Now, there are times where, yes, that is the goal.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, that is the goal when I toe a line of a certain race sometimes. Like, that's for that experience. But no, I just want to be outside and be in awe and feel small and witness what God has given us around here. So yeah, wandering through the woods and learning all those things has really been just super fun and healing or therapeutic or whatever.
No, it is. And you don't have to downplay it. And I think that's part of it. Like, we don't want to say these things are healing and these things are therapeutic because we don't want to have to admit to ourselves and others that that's what we need.
Well, I think for me, it's also just like being by myself. Now, I love when friends want to go with me and do that, and I can show them all the things and talk all about it. I love it so much.
Listen, y'all, I'm going to tell you, if you come out to the Murder Mile, if you come to the Jones family farm, and you want to do a little hike with Miss Jones, that hike is going to last about 3.5 minutes on the trail. And then she's going to let's go over here and look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to take you
in the next 2 hours, you're just going to be traipsing around.
Yeah, that's 1,000% accurate.
Yeah.
We're going off trail.
Immediately.
Yeah. And yeah.
See, you can see it in your face. Like, you light up.
Yes.
Like, you light up. This excites you. And I'm just thinking, like, how many times you're at the starting line and how many people aren't smiling?
Yeah.
Aren't having a good time. Like, the dudes that are there, and gals, don't come for me, that are that do it a lot, have a busy race calendar, that are there having a good time, like, you can tell.
Yeah.
Like, they're enjoying the start line. This is their escape. They work hard, 6 days a week. They handle their business, and this is their me time. This is their, and they're there to experience it, enjoy it, and just have a really good time. That's like 3% of the people at the beginning of a race.
Yeah.
Like, everybody, like,
standing around tents and
they got the hater blockers on with the sunglasses. It's overcast, buddy. Yeah. It's actually raining right now. Like, why do you? But you know what I mean? The hat's pulled down low. They got the sunglasses on. They got 1,000-yard stare. Like, what do you got going on? What are you doing? What is this? Is this necessary? Because you don't look like you're having fun. You don't look like you're here to engage the community and have a good time. Is this just part of the grind?
For some it is.
But it's a noticeable difference, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
You can see it. And if this is where you're at, if this should be fun, like, make it look fun.
Yeah.
Throw a smile on. Say hi to a stranger. It's, you know what I mean?
Most of us ain't fucking professionals.
Oh, last time I checked, yeah.
Nike's not reaching out next week and they're like, I'm really impressed with that mid-pack finish. Good job, guys. I gotta get you on the team. No one fucking cares.
Well, people care about their own results.
And that's fine.
People care about what they're doing.
Yes.
Their friends care. I get so much hate for this.
What?
You know how I like to encourage people at races.
It's not untrue what you say.
That is, I will say things that are true. And you might not like them, and you might have to think about it, but I'm probably going to say something that's just true. Like, people are proud of you.
Oh, it's always funny. It's always fun to watch people's faces, because everyone is just like so used to, you're doing great.
I don't know you're doing great.
Yeah. People are proud of you. And it's so funny because you'll watch people take a couple steps and then they laugh and, yeah.
Well, I'm not. By the way, I don't know you.
But someone is.
But someone is very proud of you, and they are. And, that's cool. Words of encouragement is also one of my favorites.
Yeah. They're words of encouragement. You're doing as well as you think you are.
You are doing as well as you think you are.
That one always gets a response.
Yeah. And some of these things will come out in a couple of weeks here at the Murder Mile.
It's always so fun to watch you.
Mm-hmm.
Rat-tat-tat with everybody.
Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat-tat. I'm there. I'm going to have a good time.
Yeah. It's important to have things in your life that create a space for you to smile and have a good time. And, for me, that is wandering around the woods and foraging and taking people on that. And like I said, that's a little bit of me time. So much of what we do is being a service to others or engaging with others or community driven, which is all great. I'm not saying that's not.
Yep.
But I don't want to go to a class full of other people. I don't want to go to another space.
Pottery.
No. I you know what? If someone could bring the stuff out to the house, or I could go there and it'd be one-on-one, I absolutely would. Actually, I think that'd be super cool. But I don't want to go be in a class and deal with more dynamics. Our life is very dynamic and
dynamical.
Sure.
I don't know.
Anyways, there's always a lot. So having just that space to just quiet, like when I was walking through the woods yesterday, I just sat on a rock at one point. And I just was like, this is so fucking beautiful. And I literally sat, I was like, thank you, God, for all of this. And like, just the wonderment, the opportunity truly to work hard. This past weekend, I put in close to 16 hours of trail work, and there's still so much to do. And I literally was just so grateful for the opportunity to do the work, and especially with everything my dad's got going on right now and stuff, like having the ability to get out there and swing a pickaxe and to work hard and to sweat and to cuss the bugs and look up the hill and go, oh, shit, I have to go back up that again. And going up and down the hill multiple times with a 22-pound leaf blower on my back for 5 hours is what a blessing. Like, that's so freaking cool. I don't take any of that for granted. And I just sat on that rock. It was covered in moss. It was quite cushy. It was amazing.
I'm excited to find out where this rock is.
It's on a big house. Love good rock. And I was just like, man, thanks. Like, truly, like, this fills my cup. As much as by the time I got home, I was like, oh my God, if one more bug is on my face or in my hair, I'm going to throw something.
Yeah, you abandoned me out there Sunday. Yeah, you're like, I'm out.
Oh, after I walked down the field and then the sweat bees were there, and I was like, oh no, absolutely
not.
I'm done here.
The parking lot.
Yeah.
A little spicy out there.
Oh, well, the turkeys were all over this morning. Getting out there after the bugs. Yeah, the birds were all over. It was pretty cool.
But I don't want to gloss over this simple act that you did of sitting on a rock. I've long since been a big fan of sitting on a rock. And if you want to know what it's like when you turn down the noise, go find a rock to sit on. Yeah. Go find a rock out in the wilderness and sit on that joker. Sit on that rock and just see what comes.
Don't pull out your phone.
Don't pull out your phone. Just sit there. And you might not have to sit there for a minute. Maybe you got to sit there for a little bit longer. But sit on a rock, because when it gets quiet, you're going to know the junk you have. It's either going to be junk or gratitude.
Yeah, I had a lot of gratitude.
And that's where it should be. And, I don't know. Somebody said this. I don't know if I talked about this yet. One of our friends said something to me. We were talking about just running and racing and whatever. Just running in general. And she asked if it, like, when I run, it turns down the noise, because it does for her. And I think it probably does for a lot of people. There's a big reason why we do it. And I was like, no, is that a thing? Because my mind races. Like, I got a lot going on up here pretty much all the time. And when I run, it gets much louder. And when I run over 20 miles, it gets louder still. It's like an amplifier. And so I don't have a lot of things that turn it down. And so I've got to do more of those things that turn it down so that I can figure out what else is going on. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, because if I can turn it down, then when I run, it won't be as loud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the work. And now even just that I know, like, that, hey, this is a thing, because it takes talking to other people to point it out. Like, you can't just get there on your own. Like, when I run, I can work on it. But it's not, it's not that I'm going to spend 90 miles a week running.
Did you ever like fishing?
No. Good gracious, no. Fishing is awful.
Why?
Fishing is the worst.
I disagree.
That's fine. We can disagree on it, but I think fishing is the absolute worst.
Oh, I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you can say you love it all you want. Tell me how. I think it's dumb.
But turning down the noise
stupid.
Was one of those things.
Not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I'm just going to be here. No. I've tried. Listen, I've been fishing. I've caught a fish. It's dumb. It's not for me. No.
Well, all right then.
Well, you should know this about me.
I feel like we maybe I mean, Friday night, I was very proud of myself. I had those Cody Jinks tickets.
That was a big move for Miss Jones. I was very shocked.
Yeah, I love Cody Jinks. I love his concerts. Allie was supposed to go with me, but she was out of town for a little birthday trip. She bailed on me.
Gallivanting.
Yeah, and I had every intention of going, and then I got home and showered after work and went, I think I'm just going to put on pajamas and sit here in this chair. I was asleep by 9:15. I mean, I don't even know if I really even turned on the TV. I said, I'm going to do schoolwork and sit here in the chair. Maybe I did eventually turn it on. But it's not often I have the house to myself. And I was like, I'm not going to waste this night.
It's not often you have the house to yourself. You choose to stay home and enjoy the quiet.
I did.
But that's the whole deal, yo. That's the deal. Instead of just going head over heels into the grind and hustle, like, take the space,
and I
recover.
Have fun.
That's the discipline is recovering. The discipline is sitting in the quiet. The discipline is saying, hey, this is what I really need. This is what I need. My body needs. I'm going to sit, be still, rest, recover so I can do the thing the next day.
Yeah. I was very grateful I did. I woke up the next morning and went, that was the move, because I was like, being around people, all of that's just going to stress me so much. Even though I had good seats on the end, wasn't going to have to be in between people. Seats 1 and 2, it's going to be great. And the concert was only like 25 minutes from my parents' house. It wasn't a hustle, or it wasn't like a pain in the ass. I didn't have to do it downtown. Mm-hmm. It was going to be Franklin. It's going to be great. I was like, Becca Jones.
Yeah.
This is when you should go.
Yeah.
And I went, nah, these sadness pants are pretty happy right now. I think I'm good. I think I'm going to not blow dry my hair.
There you go. You got to pull it all in perspective, and you can't just notice the grindstone the whole thing. I mean, this was years ago, and the guy was getting ready for a race, and he had commented or saying about how busy he was and how stressed and how tired he was. And like, I got all this going on. I'm working really hard and I'm training. I just had to get out. I had to get out and get 6 miles in today. So I was just like, probably not. That probably didn't bring any value to your training at all. You probably are now in a bigger deficit. He's like, no, this is what my body needs. No, it's not.
Yeah, one of the biggest things runners overlook is that stress is stress is stress, and your body cannot differentiate mental stress, emotional stress, physical stress. It all.
Not even a little bit.
No, it doesn't know that 80% of this is life stress, and then the other 20% is training stress. So if you are overstressed, exhausted, and depleted, and then you're trying to do these high mileage things or get these big runs in, you're just putting yourself further behind the 8 ball. And people wake up and they go, oh my God, why am I suffering with injuries? Or why is this going on? Or why do I feel burnt out? Because you're in a constant state of stress. Your body is not meant to live like that. And if that's how you're operating before a big race day or big effort, especially let's say something like a 100-miler or your first 50K, yeah. You've never ran that far, or whatever that goal is, it's going to require you to be fully topped off mentally.
Yeah.
Like you're going to have the space to be able to get through what is going to come up race day. And if you are already operating at 60%, and it's going to be a hard day. And it's probably going to get harder than you'd like a lot earlier than you'd prefer.
Boy, howdy.
You want to finish 100 miles. It's going to take mentally really fucking pushing through some shit. And if you are already at 0 when you start, that's a recipe for a DNF.
Well, that's good news, Jones. I appreciate that little quick tip. I feel like we've been kind of all over the place today.
Yeah.
Probably because we're stressed. Because we got a lot going on.
There's a lot going on. And the hard thing about getting ready for the race too is there's only so much we can hurry up and do.
Yeah, I mean, and some things are not optional, and then some things are, that's kind of my perspective is like, is this inhibiting the race from happening? Mm-hmm. That's what I bounce everything off of.
I mean, that's a good place.
Like, yeah, I mean, let's do it if we can do it. Like, obviously, we have a list of things we need to get done, but like, let's prioritize the things that are in the way of the race happening.
Still, there's a lot of those things that can't really happen until race week.
Yep, quite a few.
Yeah, and that's like the frustrating thing is you just want to go ahead and knock it all out. Well,
I'm going to have to mow again next week.
Yeah. I mean, we can't go ahead and put up tents. We can't go ahead and get all these things done that will feel like a huge sigh of relief once they are done.
Yep.
And we can pull out all the stuff that we're going to need to set up, but then it's just sitting in the way or it gets wet.
We'll just put it under the canopy.
Yeah, we'll put it under the pavilion.
Put it under the arena.
Yeah, I cleaned out all 20 of those coolers today.
Hey, that was on you.
Yeah, no, I need to get all the drink ones. So, yeah. That's at least something I can kind of work on and put together and feel like I'm getting there.
Yeah. Good job, Jones.
Thanks.
We're doing our part. Listen, we're going to get there. The race is going to happen. It's going to be amazing. We're going to talk all about it next week. Look at her face just did that. I have no idea what that face means.
Oh, I just went. No, I was thinking we're also going to do a live stream on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
We'll pick a day, and we're going to go over the race rules and do the race email.
It's going to be Monday.
Is it going to be Monday?
When we do the podcast.
No, this is going to be different.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to be for the podcast.
Yeah, we got a ton of time next week, so that should be pretty easy.
Yeah, maybe we can do the Sunday evening. I'm not going to be at the Homestead Festival as long as I thought it was. I thought it was Saturday, Sunday, but it's Friday, Saturday, and I'm not going to change my Friday. I'm not going to change my work schedule this week. So I'm probably just going to go Saturday morning. And then they're doing a church service. Joe Salatin is delivering a sermon.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, on Sunday morning. So I'll probably go hit that up and then come back out. Very excited.
All right, Miss Jones. I love it. Yeah, so next week we'll talk all about the Homestead Festival, and Miss Jones is going to, and we'll do the full Mid-State Mile preview right here in the Ultra Crude podcast.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in this week.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Yeah, this happens.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.